Hello and welcome to class. This is your Com 498 thesis writing or project. I'm Carl Brown. I will lead you through this one. Today, that I'm recording this anyway, is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so why not bring him in as our background? I don't think you can actually get close to Washington, D.C. right now for good reason. But here we are, we'll bring it to us. So, first of all, congratulations. You've made it this far at Grand Valley. You are in one of the final courses you'll have to take. And I really want this to be more than just something that you have to check off. I want you to have something at the end of this class that you can keep. I want you to have a paper or a project that you can use as a writing sample for grad school if that's what you want to do, that you could turn into a publication if that's what you want to do. If you want to have it with you when you take a position in the workforce and you need to solve a problem, I hope that's what we'll learn to do. And so again, I want this to be more than just something that it's required. I know that it is, but let's make it worth our while. So, to do that, we need to get into the syllabus and discuss a little bit about the course. But first, two quick things. One, I am originally from the South, and so I had one complaint, maybe two, last semester about me being difficult to understand at times and that I should enunciate more. So if you see me forcing enunciation, that's why. I don't think it's a problem face to face, but video, the syncs off a little bit with the lips moving and the sounds and all that. So fair enough. If you still can't understand me, let me know and I'll gladly clear things up. The second thing, as a disclosure, I have a 3-year-old who is upstairs most of the time when I'm making these videos. I know I said I was in Washington. I lied. I'm actually in a basement in Allendale where I go to do this and my man cave, if you will. So if you hear what sounds like thunder or a building being demolished, it may be, but it's probably my 3-year-old. That or dogs start barking, that's me too. Sorry. I tell you that because last semester, if that would happen, I would stop the video and then either start over or try to push it together with iMovie. Now this time around, I'm just gonna hold on, wait for it to pass, and we're back. So keep in mind that might happen. Don't be thrown off. So yeah, let's get into what we need to know for the class. And to do that, let's look at your syllabus here. Actually, let's start on this. So here's our class Blackboard site. All the announcements, just like every other class you have, will be posted here. I will try to post at least once. I will post at least once a week, but I'll likely post more than that. This class is unique in that everyone will be working on something a little bit different. We will have lectures because I will try to cover as much as I can to apply to everyone. But we will probably have some face-to-face, at least virtual face-to-face meetings, but on a one-on-one. It could be that we do that if multiple people are using the same kind of research method or are exploring the same kind of topic. We'll see how that goes. We're going to play it by ear because in a class like this, again, it's not just here's what you have to learn. It's what are you producing? And again, that looks different for everyone. I know you know what a Blackboard site looks like, but the syllabus and course pack are all here. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Do keep this, download it, print it, whatever, reference it frequently. The idea here is that there is no book for this course, and so I've created a course pack for you. You're welcome. Much cheaper because it's free. I just don't see the point in you paying me, who's considered an expert, to give you my expert opinion for an expert just to turn around and say you need to buy a different expert's book to give you their opinion. Why are we doing that? So for a class like this one, no book really fits either because, again, it's all different. So we're going to be as flexible as we can. If you need to know me or my contact info, here is that. I'll tell you more in just a few minutes, but if you don't have the syllabus in front of you, you can just click on this link or this tab. Weekly content, we have everything divided out by week. And so for each week, I've got what we're going to talk about in class and then what's due that week. And these week numbers correspond with the schedule on the syllabus, of course, which we'll look at momentarily. There's a documents folder that I may just put some things in that are sort of generally useful. Right now, the way this is set up, I've got some things that I'm going to move into those weekly folders. So it's a little more organized, but for now, I just wanted to get it all on here. So if you need it or want it, you've got it. But by the end of the first week, all this will be sorted and put where it needs to go. Now, we've got a discussion and assignments tab. All of the assignments that you do for this class, which you see them right there, are going to be submitted using the discussion board. So, if it's a video, you're going to make a recording, you're going to upload it somewhere else, not here. Don't upload it here. But you're going to upload it to YouTube or your Google Drive. You're going to get a link that's shareable and gives everybody permission to view, edit, whatever. You're going to post that link here. If it's a written assignment and you've got, say, a Word document, something like that, you can upload your Word document here directly, or you could upload a link to a Google Doc, or there's actually like a Microsoft version of that looks more like Word. Whatever is best for you is fine with me. I don't want anything outside of that, though, beyond a Google Doc or a Word doc, just because I don't know that it will be compatible. And, I like the editing, commenting features that I already know how to use with Microsoft and Google. So you see everything that you've got there, and we'll talk more about these in just a minute. The assignments, this will be hidden. You won't actually be able to see that. This is just my view. These two are pretty familiar to you. I did put a link here to the knowledge market that didn't seem to work, so I will fix that. Make sure I didn't. Nope, I'll fix that. So this should take you to the Knowledge Markets website, which is the Writing Center Speech Lab research partners. And you're going to need to use their services this semester. One, because they're helpful, but two, because it's required. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. But I want you to have a quick access to get to those scheduling systems. All right, let's switch gears slightly and talk about your syllabus. What are we going to do here? There we go. Let's go ahead and blow this up. All right. So again, at the top, you've got your basic information. Email is the best way to get a hold of me. My one email address is brownca1@gvsu, carlbrown@gvsu works. I don't know why they don't make that simpler, but it all goes to the same place for some reason. You've got my physical office location there, which I probably will not be at because of COVID. So I have a Google Meet room that's dedicated just for meetings, and so you'll see that address at the bottom there, and you'll also see my office hours. There's a phone number to my office, which does, again, go to the physical building, but if you need me, or if I don't respond to an email quickly, you can leave a message, and that will go to a different email, which comes to my phone also. So maybe if one got rerouted or something was entered wrong, or who knows. If communication can fail, it will. And so we've got to have some backup plans. That's one. So what are we doing in this class? Well, I've told you that I want you to have something that you're really going to be able to take with you, and I think you'll be able to do that. In my experience, this is only my second time teaching this course exactly, but I found that most people had something quality they could take with them. I gave my 100% on editing it and making it, as quality as I could. They gave 100%, but there were, of course, a few that didn't. And, that's up to them. That's up to you. But if you want it to be something good, we can make it something good. I am required to tell you that, as you see here, this course is subject to the GVSU policies listed at gvsu.edu/course policies. I've never been there, but you might want to go. So, what are the course goals and objectives? So we're going to talk about things that are simple, like a thesis statement that you've been doing forever, but we'll talk about why it's so important. We'll talk about making sure everything is logical and coherent so that we not only have good work, but we can share that good work and it can be understood. We'll talk about writing in a professional academic way that will vary based on the style of research that you choose to do. And we'll get into that throughout the semester. We will do a proper thesis research paper in here. I want you to understand not just here's how sort of to do it, but why we're doing it different ways, the pros and cons of different approaches and how they might fit better with your sort of needs or what you're trying to accomplish with your work. We'll talk about some techniques for organizing research. Again, not just the materials, but the actual presentation of it. We'll talk about being an efficient researcher in that, I don't want you to spend hours upon hours upon hours collecting information that's already out there. Yeah, you have to write a literature review, and we'll cover that. But beyond that, you should be spending your time creating instead of synthesizing what's already out there. I want you to feel at the end of this that you're able to do this kind of research. You can identify as this type of researcher. And then, of course, to have those writing skills refined at the end. So what will you need to make this happen? Well, one is what we're looking at right now, the course pack. Again, no single book really fits what we need. I had a book last time I taught this, and we used it maybe 3 of the 15 weeks. And I didn't see the purpose. So use the course pack, print it, download it, whatever, keep it, understand it. But it's on our Blackboard site. Of course, also, you'll need access to the internet because that's where you are right now watching this. I will, again, post every week at least once, probably more than that. And I'll have a video each week unless it's noted there's no new video that week, because there's going to be some weeks where it's a work week where you should just be collecting data or writing or something like that. And we'll cover that in a moment. As you know, this is an asynchronous design, meaning there will be no requirement for you to be anywhere at any particular time, especially as a group. I did mention before, and I'll say it again here, most of you will want to meet one-on-one at some point so we can talk about your research. For example, when you collect your data, if you're doing quantitative work especially, and I don't expect you to be a statistician, but I happen to be. So if you wanted to send me your work, I can run some tests on it, and then we're still learning because I'm showing you what I did, why I did it, and what it told me. And so I want you to be able to continue working on your work, even if you're not 100% sure of how to do the research. That's why I'm here, to guide you to the right way and tell you why. So that means you may want to meet one-on-one, but it's not required. Course formal assignments and grading, you see it there. The big thing is that all of your assignments, for the most part, are built on top of one another. That's where they are. And so that at the end of the semester, when you turn in that final paper or you put it together, you're not starting a final paper and have done these other assignments. You're taking these pieces and putting them together into one big paper. And that's the way to do this research. So we'll cover that. Big note there, all assignments are due on Sundays at 11:59 p.m., so before midnight, and the weekends for us on a Sunday. So if you have something due this week, that will be due this coming Sunday before midnight, and so on and so forth. So here are your assignments. The first is an introduction speech, which I'm going to do and post shortly. That'll have my information on it, but this is mainly for us to get to know each other so that we can see what maybe you're thinking about researching. By the way, I will do research with you. I have my own project I'm working on. So as you do your literature review, I'll do my literature review, and we can sort of share that together, and I can use it as an example. But answer these questions for us. Again, I'll post another video shortly with my responses. But the big thing out of that is that I need to know where you are individually in this process of understanding and conducting research so I can adapt my approach. If everybody is, for some reason, already super familiar with, phenomenology and narrative research and survey design, Well, great. We don't need to cover all that. You've already got those skills. But if you don't, I need to know so that I can cover it. So give me just sort of an idea by answering those questions. Then you're going to do a survey design assignment where you're going to figure out what's best for you if you're not familiar. Topic ideas and feedback. You see those being small. But here's where you're going to pick your actual topic. Here's how you're going to pick what kind of research to do. And then we get into the actual paper introduction and lit review. It's my explanation of a lit review. The method section, the results section, discussion and conclusion, and then the final paper putting it all together, as well as a presentation. We'll talk all about that as we move forward. Going back to that link that doesn't work that I will fix, the knowledge market consultations are 10% overall of your grade, or 10 points. Everything adds up to 100. But here you are ideally going to go to the research partners first and help get some help finding quality sources, or getting ideas on different databases that might be most useful for you. From there, you're going to start the writing process, and for that, you should visit the writing center. Um, See what they can do in terms of making you a better writer, whether that is, giving you some style advice or APA advice. That's what we will use. Or if it's, being more scientific or less scientific, I don't know what your needs will be, but hopefully they can help. And then, of course, at the end, you come to the speech lab. By the way, I'm the director of the speech lab, so that one's my baby, but you'll come to us last when you prepare for that presentation number 12 there. 8 to 10 minutes, just like you were at an actual academic conference presenting your work. And that is basically it. I know that's it, right? Those are your assignments. It's a lot of work to do a research paper, but boy, when it's done, it's satisfying. So we're going to make it step by step happen. All right, now let's move to the course policies. Well, as you know, there are no class meetings with this, so there can't really be an attendance policy. There is a late work policy, and that is basically not to do it. There's that announcement again. All assignments are due on Sunday before midnight, and think of Sunday at the end of the week, not the first day of the week, but the last day of the week. So whatever is due for this week, you'll turn that in this coming Sunday. All right. If you need to miss something and you're not able to turn something in, let me know as soon as possible. And if it's something that is an emergency, or has an excuse, has documentation, we'll work it out. But I can't help you if I don't know. And the longer you wait to contact me, the less I am likely to do anything major and making it count. Extra credit policy. There's only one way to get extra credit in this class, and that is to have more knowledge market appointments. That's the link that's broken that I will fix. But you're required to go at least 3 times this semester, one to each service. But if you go more than that, you can get additional points. For every additional visit you make, you'll get 1 point added to your raw final paper or project grade. That doesn't mean 1 point on the final grade, because everything does add up to 100. But with this, really, if you go 3 times, you get the equivalent of 1 point on the final grade. And while 3 visits for 1 point may not seem like a very good deal, with, again, things adding up to 100, it's not bad. So not only that, but it'll be beneficial. You'll get good information, good skill out of those visits. So why not take advantage? Email policy number 4. That is the best way to get a hold of me. As I said, if you don't hear back from me in 24 hours after you send an email, and that does not count weekends or holidays, you should resend the email and call my office. That call will give you a voicemail, which goes to a different email. You're just trying to cover your bases of making sure you get a hold of me. But normally within 24 hours, I'm right back with you. Even if, it's something that I can't answer right away, I may say, hey, got this email. Let me have some more time to think about this or to do some research on it, and I'll get back to you. But I'll be in touch. Number 5, academic honesty. Really, it's possible to cheat in this class, obviously, but don't do it. It's not worth it. I mean, at this point, you're so far along in the program that it's just gonna really screw you up. Um, so I know you can buy papers and stuff like that online, but it's not going to be in the right format. It's not going to be using probably the exact language we use. That's going to be suspect. You look into it, you copy paste the text into Google, you search for it, it comes back plagiarized, and then you're out of school. So don't do that. Just make sure to cite your sources. If you find something that someone else wrote and you're like, wow, this is exactly what I need, that's great. Use it. Just cite it. That's all you've got to do. I can't tell you. I mean, it's not really funny. It kind of is, but it's not. I mean, I can think of at least 3 students who have been kicked out of Grand Valley in the last 6 years. Not from my classes, but in the program, in the major, who plagiarized. That's why they got kicked out. But it wasn't like it wasn't something that needed to be plagiarized. They could have just cited the source and been fine. So be careful. FERPA policy, FERPA being Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. If you're not familiar with that, it means that I can only talk to you about your grades via your official Grand Valley email or in a face-to-face virtual setting like this. I can't talk to you about this on the phone. I've actually had an issue where somebody's mom called me and asked about the grade. I told her I couldn't talk to her. So then she literally took a break, then pretended to be the daughter. And I was like, ma'am, please stop. It's a little ridiculous. So that's why I say don't let your mom call me. What I will say also, though, is to keep up with your own grades. Blackboard has them, but what Blackboard reports to you is a percentage of the total possible points for the assignments you've submitted. So if you turned in one assignment and got full credit on it, it would tell you at the end you had 100% of what you were possibly going to get with that one assignment. So it's not accurate in that way if you interpret it wrong. So keep up with those grades, and that'll make life easier. The Americans with Disabilities Act, if you need any sort of accommodations, let me know. I do need documentation from Grand Valley's DSR, Disability Support Resources. And so if that is you, let me know. Title IX, I have to tell you that I am obligated to report any observation or basically hearing about possible sexual harassment, misconduct, or assault. Why do I tell you that? Well, in speech classes before, I've had someone give a speech on their experience with assault, and they said in there they had never talked about it before, and they were getting it out sort of this way. And so, we had to have a conversation. It turned out fine. She and I went together, but it's something that you need to be aware of. You may want to do a research paper on a topic like that in terms of colleges and sexual assault, let's say. And maybe you write in that paper that the reason you were motivated to go with this topic is because of your own personal unfortunate experience. Well, again, if you say that happened at Grand Valley or anything connected to the university, I need to report that. So just be aware of those rules. Now, number 9, document format and style policy. Everything is APA. APA. Also, all of your text submissions should be in either Google Docs or Word Doc. Only 2, Google Doc or Word Doc. That could be an actual Word Doc that you upload. That's great. It could be a link to a Word Doc, because they have that now, or a link to a Google Doc that is shareable and that I can edit. That's the key thing. I have to be able to edit it. I can't give you good feedback if I can't read it and type as I read and, give you that real in the moment sort of response. So make sure that you are submitting things the proper way. In the event you need to record something, which I think is only your first assignment with the intro speech and then your conference style presentation, follow those steps very well. You're going to record it. You're going to not edit it. You're going to do it in one take. If you need to do 4 or 5 takes, that's fine, but don't splice 2 together. You're going to upload this to your Google Drive or your YouTube account that's connected to your official Grand Valley email. Then you're going to get a shareable link that has full permissions, and you're going to post that link in the Blackboard discussion area. So that's the process. I will not download any movie files that you put up here. I'll just tell you to resubmit it, and if you don't get it back within a reasonable amount of time, I won't count it. So follow the directions. Course grades, nothing crazy there. Special notes, in case you need to know these things, the last day with a 100% refund is the 26th, and the last day to drop with a W instead of a fail is April 9th. And then there's a note on the knowledge market. We've talked about that, so I'll let that just be hanging out there. Again, here's a big note. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. That's when things are due. So let's look at this. The way the syllabus schedule is laid out, you've got the week that corresponds with the Blackboard site. Here you've got Monday through Sunday dates. We end on Sunday. Here's what we're going to cover that week in the video, and here's what's due that week. So you're watching the video right now, and now you'll need to do your intro speech, and that's what's due. And that'll be the same week after week after week. So we'll talk about that as we get to it. Then there is the table of contents that's set up by week as well. Notice that like there's no week 12 or there's no week 9, there's no week 6. That's just because we're doing other things that week, probably a work day. So there won't be another video, but I'll still post a message and remind you. And then from there, you can just keep on trucking. So before we end this video, let me just start with this, because this is the week 1 steps of the research process. There's a lot of different ways you can approach research, and we'll talk about those specifically. But for now, big picture is always going to be like this. Number 1, you're going to figure out what you want to explore. What do you care about? Why should others care about it? What question do you want to answer? Then you're going to do some research yourself. What's already out there? Find it, think about it, synthesize it in your mind, combine it with what you already know. Then you're going to create a list, or you could do a list with the annotated bibliography, or that whole finding, reading, and synthesizing can then take the written form of a lit review. Then you're going to figure out a way to actually study something in your own unique way. That's the research itself. That's when you're going to carry out the project and you're going to analyze what you find. And then you're going to put it all together by big picture looking at it and saying, okay, I know what's already out there and I know what I found. So where do my findings fit with what's already out there, this larger body? And what does it all mean? How can people use it? Why should they care about it? What can happen next? What does this contribute to the greater knowledge that's out there? And I guarantee you, you'll find that spot. Now, even if you do a study that doesn't have a significant finding or nothing that's just groundbreaking, it still matters. It's still important because it can eliminate some things instead of confirming. And that's great. That's something that we can still value and learn from. Now, next week, as you can see, we're going to start with some really basic foundation stuff. I'm going to ask you some questions on this survey, and you are going to tell me your opinion, excuse me, and that's going to help us determine what research plan's right for you. But for now, make sure that you've got a grip on the syllabus, you've got a basic understanding of what's going on here, review the Blackboard site, and of course, as always, if you have other questions, let me know, and I will answer those for you. Now, I'm going to stop this video, and I will put another one up momentarily that will give you my introduction speech so that, again, A, we can all get to know each other a little better, and B, we can hear where you are in this sort of research journey. Are you completely blank and don't know what you want to do yet? That's fine. Do you have a really specific something that you want to do and you really just want to continue with that? That's great too. There's no wrong answer, but we just need to know. All right. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.